Do you still remember how we find mean for group data with frequency? Okay, here, number of students is our frequency. And quantity of drinks in little bought by 70 students, here is represented by your X. So here we are not using a midpoint, but we use the actual value of information. Recall back, to key in your data in scientific calculator, the first value that we need to insert in the calculator is the value of X, followed by value of frequency. So this is example related to group data. Okay, you have class group. This is the first class, this is your second class. And look back at your first class, the highest value of first class and this lowest value of second class. Okay, there is a gap between one class to another class. So when there is a gap, we use class boundaries. When you have that kind of information, you need to generate a midpoint column. Okay, so our midpoint is represented by X. So how are you going to find your midpoint? The same concept you use when you want to find your mean. So midpoint equals to lower boundary plus with upper boundary divided by 2. Once you have find all the midpoint for each class, okay, next part is you have to find the information of frequency times with its midpoint. So everything you have to do here, you must use calculator, scientific calculator. I love to recall back what we have learned in previous class and in previous slide. Okay, to find your frequency times with midpoint, the first value that you need to enter in your calculator is the value of midpoint, followed by the value from frequency. Okay. Once you have keyed in everything in your calculator, so from the calculator, this is the value of your standard deviation. And from this standard deviation, we also can find the variance. So S squared equals to S. Therefore, the value of S that we have obtained previously is 5.537 the power of 2. So what do you understand about the standard deviation value and the mean value? So you need to look back the value of mean that you obtained previously. This standard deviation tells you how far your data spread out or disperse from the mean. If your standard deviation is close to the value of mean, it tells you that your data is more concentrated, is more homogeneous. And you need to take into account that the value of variation should not be negative. Why? Because the value of standard deviation has been squared. So anything that's squared, negative will become positive.